What's going on, everyone, from LowKick MMA? My name is Dane Podolsky, and I am joined once again today with Fernando El Valiente Padilla. He is set to return to the Octagon on March 23rd when he takes on Luis Pajuelo. Fernando, thank you so much for coming on, taking the time. I can see you're pumped up for this one.
Yeah, my man. No, thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate this time. Honestly, it's always good to have to see the similar faces, and just it makes you realize that you're coming back. You're coming into the fight week.
No, yeah, definitely. And it's about 10 days out from your fight. You're training in California, obviously head to Vegas for this one. When do you head out to Las Vegas?
Tuesday, if I'm not wrong, like Tuesday afternoon.
And your first two UFC fights, right, in Vegas. First one at the Apex, second one, obviously in front of the crowd at T-Mobile. Back at the Apex for this one. How you feeling about, fighting there again?
Feel good. I mean, it's always good to fight, just in general. I know for a lot of people, it might be like a big difference, Apex or like a fight card, but I mean, the energy is always there. You always feel it.
And obviously the UFC just went to Mexico. You're from Mexico. Was that card you were hoping to get on? And even though you weren't able to get on that card, what'd you think about that card as a whole and just kind of the atmosphere down there?
First of all, yes, I did want to get into that card. Obviously, it was just a question of paperwork, but I think it was an amazing card. I think all the Mexicans came with a good spirit. They I feel the energy in Mexico was amazing, and even though there was like a fight in the crowd, I feel that everything was really good. I remember the last time that one of my teammates fought in Mexico. It was Carlos Parks against Alexa Grasso. There was a lot of videos of like people like throwing bottles and throwing beer and throwing like just the drinks. So I feel that this time was controlled a little bit better in just that part. Even that little fight that happened on the crowd was pretty controlled, I guess, to a certain extent. But the card was amazing too. I feel that, like I say, all the Mexicans did really good. And even though that some of us we some of the like the main carders lost, but man, there were good fights at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the first two fights, or I guess the last two fights, Moreno lost a close decision. Yair got submitted by Brian Ortega, but I'd still say overall it was a pretty solid night for the Mexican fighters. Daniel Zellhuber looked good. Yasmin,
Yeah.
Moraes, guys, she's looking amazing at strawweight, and I forgot. I think Ray Rodriguez had a submission too in his debut. So a lot of good stuff coming out of Mexico, and you're part of that next wave of Mexican talent.
Yes, sir, and that's why we're here. I'm glad. I'm like, I mean, I'm not fighting there, but it's a few weeks after that, and I'm like, I hope the Mexicans still ready for this one.
And yeah, no, of course. And I know your focus is obviously on, March 23rd, Luis Pajuelo. But looking way into the future, the UFC has mentioned that they're going to do another big Mexican Heritage Day card at the Sphere this year. Down the road, is that card you're hoping to get on?
Hell yeah, that's pretty much one of the main goals. I think stack some wins in this year. If I cannot do two, I can stack this next win against Luis, and then ask for that fight in September. I'm pretty sure that's what the UFC wants to do. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and when you go back to this fight, right, coming off the loss to Kyle Nelson, you're getting back in there, pretty quickly around, 6 months turnaround is typical layoff. How this fight come together, Poelo, and how do you feel about the matchup?
I think it's a great matchup. It's I'm back again to one of those fights that I feel I crave. I crave these type of fights, and also I think that I perform better in these type of fights. I wasn't expecting Kyle to be so evasive with his with the last fight, and I think that kind of messed me up a little bit. Obviously, not saying nothing bad out of him. It was his game plan, and he did it all the fight. Um, but I feel that Luis is it like I say reminisce with me that it looks like a fight like the first fight that I had in the UFC against Julian. There was a guy who is able to bring the heat. He likes to fight. He likes to bring the fight forward, and he's not afraid of the fire. So I feel that I match up really well with people like that because I'm kind of the same type of fighter. And I think Luis is going to bring the heat again and try to fight with me. So it's a good fight.
Yeah, and I usually ask, have you gotten to watch the footage or what gives you advantage? It's clear that from that answer that you have, but that first fight, your UFC debut you talked about, Julian Erosa is obviously a guy who's going to get right in your face from the start, and you knocked him out. Do you see this fight potentially playing out similarly to how your debut played out?
Yes, yeah, yeah, I can see it playing similar. Obviously, I have to mix up my weapons a little bit better, not get too confident in my hands. Obviously, if they land, they're gonna land nice. But if I can land my kicks, if I can land my knees or some elbows, I feel that that will put him more in more compromise. I feel that that will make the fight a little bit quick for this one. So that's what I'm looking for a fact.
Yeah, and so you're training out in California. Who've been your main training partners for this camp, and just how's camp been going overall?
I have almost similar the same training partners and more for this camp. Artaban Moeni, great striker. Robert Romero, another good MMA fighter. He comes from the same hometown that I am, and he's been popping really hard on Combate Americas. So I have those two. I have my teammates, my roommates that pretty much like I say live with me. So I feel that we are a tight group, and I like that. I like that. I feel that we getting to knowing each other and how to push each other harder, and that's what we've been doing for this camp. I've been working nonstop. I have really good training partners that like push me every day, and it feels good. It feels good.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I probably asked this before, but do you feel like you sure have a pretty small gym, but in turn that means when you're in fight camp, all the attention's on you. You're not just another body in the gym. Do you feel like that gives you an advantage? Work, kind of coming out of a smaller gym.
Yes and no. I mean, it might sound like a small gym just because we still don't like through the years a lot of UFC fighters been in and out, but it's pretty big though. It's pretty big. We have at least like 20 guys every day, like or at least 20 guys per year. Like training with us nonstop. We have a bunch of amateurs, obviously, just trying to build them up, but we have other professionals that like they're just steps away from being in the UFC or just trying to like we all trying to get there, right? Thank God I'm already there. But yeah, man, I feel that obviously they still don't have the same eyes that I have on me right now, but they going to, and you will see it soon. I think this year is going to be really really good for us as a team, and I'm just waiting for that. But yeah, other than that, like I have a fight next week, and then after that we have another fight the next week, and then after that week we have two guys fighting. So like the gym is always the fights are always going in the gym. For this fight was a little bit more. Coach tried to separate it a little bit more, but even 2 weeks ago we had Alex Perez fighting too. So it's been just the same thing. I think I'm used to it already. Just if we have another guy fighting, it is what it is.
Yeah, and no, and I know that at a lot of gyms, kind of like when one guy's got a fight, a lot of people, sorry, that kind of sets the momentum. You got all the guys in the gym kind of excited for it. And you mentioned that you have teammates who are fighting a few weeks after you. Does that kind of give any motivation of like, all right, if I can pick up a win that kind of sets the tone for the whole gym and like I can kind of start the momentum for us?
Hell yeah, that is a big point. Yeah, yeah. I feel that every time you fight and you have people fighting before or after you, you always want to be that motivation for them. Obviously, yeah, I'm looking for that too. I'm looking to open up this fight and win, and then open up a win streak for the gym. Hopefully the next weeks we still stacking wins.
Yeah, I'll quickly throw out, I train at Martinez BJJ here in Philly. It's I from what it sounds like a similar kind of size gym. Our gym is probably a little bit smaller, but we've got, a few UFC guys. I just train, I don't fight, I just kind of, train. But then there's also a lot of amateurs, and it's kind of we had Kyle Dawkins just pick up a UFC veteran. He's picked up a win. And then all of our amateur guys who've got these fights coming up, they're all kind of juiced up now by seeing kind of one of the UFC guys in the gym pick up a win.
Yes.
So I can definitely get that sense of like, all right, you see someone who's already at the top of the game get a win. It sets a just kind of a precedent for the rest of the gym of like, all right, if they can get it done, I can get it done as well.
I can get it done. Yeah, and it's really important too because like I tell you, probably these guys don't have the same eyes that we have right now, but
Mhm.
that's why it's always good to mention them. It's always good to like keep them close because amateurs are really hungry. Amateurs are hungry kids, are hungry people, and so it might not be the same level that you need to train with, but it's always people who's constantly training, constantly getting better. And I feel that the group of amateurs that we have right now, it's we've been building it up for the last 3 years, at least four of those guys, and they've been training with us with professionals like constantly. So the level of them is increasing, and that helped us a lot. That helped us so much. We have kids that they might be amateurs right now, but they wrestle all their when they were since they were young all the way to college, and like that part, I didn't wrestle, so they good for that. They great for that. They show you so many things. Even different schools wrestle with different ways. So it's always good to have like I tell you, people like that around you. Motivates you.
Yeah, no, definitely. And switching gears a little bit, right? Your division, that 145-pound division, it's so competitive. And big change just happened. Ilya Taporia knocking out Alexander Volkanovski.
Gee.
What do you think of, that fight? And how do you feel about kind of the state of the top of the division now with all the shakeups?
I mean, I think what Ilya been saying is really true. That like it's gonna open up the door for new contenders and new people to rise up, and it's good. It's good. It's just it's everything is it's a circle. Everything has to go and keep circling around. So the fight was pretty good. I think. I mean, there's no excuses for Bulk, right? But what he say, I feel that it was kind of true. I didn't felt like Bulk was in that, or the best Bulk was in that cage with Ilya, and just Ilya took the best. He was able to change through the fight, and he landed the punch that he needed to land. So props to him.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely props to Ilya Taporia. That right hand was about, as clean as it gets.
Yeah,
And, I've asked you before, right? Relationship with the Mexican champions. For a while, it had been Moreno, Yair, and Grasso. Moreno and Yair both coming off tough losses. But Alexa Grasso just got announced that she's going to be coaching the Ultimate Fighter against
I just saw
Valentina
that.
Shevchenko. And that will result in a trilogy fight between the two. I think I've asked this before. You gotten to work with Alexa at all before, and how do you see that fight playing out for her?
Uh, I hope it goes back like to this last one was really tight. I hear a lot of people saying that it was like even though he could go to Valentina, but how many times do you hear that? Or like Valentina before fighting with Alexa was unbeatable, was the best in the world, and then Alexa kind of solved the puzzle. So if she sticks to the game plan like she did on the last two fights, and she can keep bringing that heat to Valentina, I think it's gonna be the same thing. We have to again we have to do the whole circle and make sure that new people get the shot for that title. Make sure that we see different faces. So um, it's just part of the sport, man. It's just part of the sport. I hope like I say, Valentina, Alexa brings the heat again, and she get the third win over.
And I'll ask about one more flyweight bout, and that's the main event of the card that you're on. Amanda Hebas takes on Rose Namajunas. How do you see that fight playing out?
Man, that's gonna be a good. I feel that I've been watching like how the card has been building up, and man, is what a card. It's even though there is like a fight night, I feel that we have really good fights in that card, and obviously that one being the main event, that was crazy. I'm excited to see Tug Rose, just to meet her in person. Obviously, Amanda Ribas too. Like the queen, there's a queen of violence, right? If I'm not wrong, it is her.
Queen
Uh,
of Violence, I think Joanna, but Amanda Hebas is pretty violent herself.
Man, she's really good. She's really good. And like they both bring the heat too. That's why I think I've been liking about this card is like I feel that there's gonna be fights. That's
Mhm.
what they make for this card.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people will see, they'll sleep on a card like this because they'll see, the main event's maybe not the biggest fight. It's not like, it's not what was I gonna say? Like it's not Moreno Royval with
Yeah,
Yair's the co-main.
McGregor Diaz.
Yeah, but people like us who actually like watch the sport and love the sport, this card is just full of all these just exciting, young, hungry fighters like yourself.
Yes, yes. I think Billy Q his opponent just pulled out, and then they replaced him with the Moroccan Devil, the guy from Factory X. That's a good fight. And then I saw Julian is fighting too. He's fighting with this Brazilian cat that is also really good. He's a guy who's been knocking out people with spinning back elbows. So like those two fights are crazy, you know. And then me being there too against Luis, I feel that it's all set. It's all set. It's gonna be a good card. I hope everyone enjoy it, and we're gonna go get some wars.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking about that card. And I forgot you're talking about Julian Erosa. He's fighting Ricardo Ramos, and that's just another fight that slipped over my head of like two guys who maybe casual fans haven't heard of, but two guys
Yeah.
every time they're in a fight, it's a dogfight.
Yes, it is a dogfight. So like, yeah, man, it's like I tell you, it's been building up this card, and I'm glad I'm in there. You know, I'm glad I'm in this card. I think it's a good card for me to be, and I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. And we talk about exciting fighters. I'm not even just saying this to, kiss your ass, but like there's a reason you're on the main card of this one. Of
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I hope I can go and put in a show for all of you guys.
course. Um, Fernando, thank you so much for taking the time as always. Just my final question. March 23rd, Fernando Padilla, Luis Pajuelo. Fernando, give me your official prediction.
I think he's gonna start with some bang. Like obviously he likes to throw. I like to throw. The heat is gonna be there, but I think I'm more of a complete fighter, and I want to show that. I want to show that I'm an MMA fighter, complete fighter, and I can do everything on that cage. So that's what I'm gonna go show. That's what I've been working to do, and just expect the best Fernando you ever see.
Oh, yeah, well, Fernando, I'm wishing you the best of luck. If there are any socials, people you want to shout out, platform is yours, my friend.
Just follow me on Instagram at Valiente MMA. Thank you to my family. Thank you to my to my sponsors. Big people supporting me. A lot of people have been supporting me for this fight too, and I appreciate that a lot. To all my training partners and all the sacrifices that we've been making. All these things are gonna pay off. You guys will see.
Awesome. Guys, Fernando Padilla returns to the Octagon on March 23rd. He takes on Luis Puella. I'm about as excited as he is. I hope you all are as well.
Let's
Fernando, best of
go.
luck to you. You guys won't
Thank you, my brother.
miss this fight. Thank you so much for taking the time.
I appreciate you, Danny.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.